Hello, my trading warrior brothers and sisters. How are you? Hope everyone's doing okay today. Also, hope you took what I was saying about Bitcoin seriously yesterday. I just want to do a post-mortem on Bitcoin. Not that I'm saying it's dead. Just want to review the signals that we've had since TradeGate Hub has been online. We started off. How you doing, G Dory? We started off with the three drive to a top formation. Everyone remember that? So feel pretty good about being able to forecast the top with work that I'm known for, work that I teach. Or you don't know how many people tweet to me when they see three drives and other instruments that I don't even trade, which really goes to show that technical analysis, it doesn't matter what the title of the chart is, like the title of this chart is Bitcoin US dollar, but these formations work no matter the instrument, no matter the time frame. So take a picture of this three drive to a top formation. If you're patient and you wait for them and you get the correct RSI readings on the third drive, they're fairly high probability outcomes. So that was the first call in Bitcoin. We record all of these. Okay, so it's not going to be, something that I'm being a revisionist on. This is something that was communicated to our members, our community at TradeGate Hub, and anyone that watches our YouTube videos. Okay. So we had this initial break off the three drive here. And then we were struggling up here around 60,000. And I drew in this black line of death right here that came in right around the 54,000 level. And when we were testing it down here, I said, I don't think we're going to hold. My target was 36,000 at this time once we took out the line. All right. So we overshot my target. And then the last couple of weeks, I've been saying, I don't know. After a big spike like this, it has to do some work. You don't know if it's going to bottom. But then I started to see that this just looked like a consolidation that was working off its oversold condition, a confirm low here by just marking it with time rather than price. We didn't even rally back to the breakdown. And then yesterday I drew this green line here. Kind of looks like a flag or the consolidation that we were in, and we have our breakdown today. So I would say that this measures down to about the 23,000 level. So there could be another 10,000 to the downside in Bitcoin, and then we'll see what type of action we get down there. Remember what W.D. Gann said, if you don't learn how to change your mind, you won't have any change left, which is in direct contradiction of HODL. HODL is really kind of a stubborn attitude, hold on for dear life. You know how I know? I've done it, where a scalp will turn into a swing trade and then a position trade and then an investment because I didn't have good risk management skills at the time, or psychologically I needed to see a shrink because I was just watching my net worth melt away. Um, it's a pretty painful experience. My job is to help you avoid the landmines that I've already lost limbs stepping on. And so it's okay to be wrong. We're all wrong in the market. The best, the most famous, all go through drawdowns. So it's okay to be wrong. It's not okay to stay wrong. And if you're getting into a trade not knowing where you're wrong on entry, you're really looking to make that one big mistake. So that's my view on Bitcoin. A lot of people are favoring Ethereum over it. I'm not going to cover Doggy Coin, but I will at least cover the majors. And this is a little different than what people were expecting. I know a lot of people that are starting to expect um, outperformance of Ethereum compared to Bitcoin, and it has held up better. And there is something here around 16.5. That's another 800 lower. But it was such a big run. Why can't we trade, say, Bitcoin's 23,000? Why can't we see 1,200 in Ethereum? No reason I would buy this unless we start taking over this moving average here on the daily. And just one more thing on Bitcoin, and I know a lot of people pay attention to it on the daily, is that you see how the 50 and 200 are converging here. We could be setting up a death cross. I'm not a big uh, believer in the golden cross and the death cross, but if you start seeing this 50-day moving average closing under the 200 in the coming weeks, that would not be a positive sign for crypto all in all. Everyone with me? Any questions on my analysis of Bitcoin and Ethereum here? Okay, so don't try and catch a falling knife right here. There could be some more left. And, just because you might be bullish about blockchain doesn't mean that prices can't get out of whack and become a mania. And, that's where we were at 60,000. And when you think about 23, it's really not that far away from the high from the last cycle, which is kind of a natural thing for markets to do. Gold did it. So the breakout was 18,000 if I go back a little further. I mean, the last high. Let's go the month. Okay, so this was the last cycle high up here, uh, right around 2000. I kind of remember 18,000, but this was a breakout. Okay, look at what happened on this line. You could see it better on the weekly. Why can't we retrace to the breakout and look at some of the confluence down here? So, it's not out of the question, okay? But first stop on some fib targets would be about 23,000. But when you look at this, and I know because I was shorting it here looking for a correction, but once we broke out over 12.5, never looked back. So my two areas of interest will come in around 23.5. And if that's not enough to stop the Niagara Falls decline, this would be my next level, down around 12.5. Everyone with me? So we have ECB and BOC this week. I'm not a fan of, having big positions into central bank meetings, and Euro's coming off a little bit today. So far, it looks like kind of a failing rally that we're getting here. And, ECB is Thursday. I really can't rule out one more shot down. This was Friday's low on the NFP. Um, I haven't done anything yet. I want to react to the ECB. The fundies, the fundamental talk I'm hearing is Lagarde has said that it'd be too early, premature to end the PET program. The whole ball game right now is across the globe for central banks is when did they begin to cut back on their lending facilities and QE and whatever you want to call it. So far, it's only been Canada and New Zealand that's taken those actions. So we'll see what the ECB does. I don't think they're going to announce a taper. So we'll see. This could end up just being a little pause to refresh. The other scenario is that I know last week when I was short covering before the ECB, I thought that we could pull back to some of these daily moving averages. There's 2070. I can't rule that out. And on the weekly, the off number for Euro is and you guys know what the off number is. So the off number was 2192. And so far, the high was just a little bit above the off number. But just to show you how you could trade these off numbers, let me just draw this in as a possible target, just in case the dollar has a bounce. Regardless of whether the dollar has a bounce or not, back down to here, this 2070, 2080 level, it's my contention that there's New lows coming in the dollar. I still think we're going to take out this 89.20 level. And if that's a case of taking out 89.20, um, Euro's going to make another new high. Now we have an inside day here. Is it possible that we get another rally back towards the 90.80, even 91 before we finish off this bear move from here? Yes, it is. Everything is. As you notice on, if you're in TradeGate Hub, I haven't posted many trades because I haven't done anything this week. And that's okay. It's not easy. It's not easy being patient. I mean, I like being involved in trades, but if I find myself hunting for trades, then I'm forcing things. There is nothing to force because good trades will become obvious to you if you have some type of method. You just have to sit and wait for them to come sometimes. And then there are other times I'm very active and aggressive when I have conviction. When I don't, I've learned the hard way out of forcing trades. And write this down, there really is nothing to force. You could also write down, I'm going to miss trades every day, and they're both okay because there's always another trade around the corner. So you want to avoid impulse trading and the feeling that you have to trade. Okay, you don't have to trade. In fact, you don't even have to do this. Okay, no one is requiring you to become a speculator. It's a choice. So it's also a choice whether or not you're going to assume risk. And it's not how much you trade. All right, that's never going to be, a factor in your performance. How active you are. It's great for your broker, but not necessarily great for your performance in the market. Everyone with me? Give me a Y if you're with me. Because part of this is also, the market is, you could have a great system, but it's all in your head. Okay, most of this is in your head. It's all the emotional stuff that we have to master. And that means creating a new paradigm from what we're used to as human beings, kind of rewiring our brains to become traders, which is counterintuitive. So let's get to some of the other markets here. I want to show you how powerful and how important some of these 2 week off numbers could be. So here's cable. Looks like it's under pressure. From last week we had the stop hunt, and we're getting another down week so far. But the off number, all you do is count back 2 candles, and I use it mainly on weekly, but just like 3 drive formations, you could use it on any time frame and on any instrument. So all you do is you count back 2 weekly candles. Here's one, here's two. And of course, weekly candles are your closes on Friday. And the off number was 41.90 is for this week. To get a weekly reversal, it needs to close under 41.90. So keep that number in mind. Okay. And here we are. This was a rally that we had last night before we sold off. 41.90. Now, is that a coincidence? Because the market's memory is all to the left. So when I'm using a 2 week off number system, I'm really looking at the memory from 10 days, 10 trading days ago. But that's why I'm saying there's multiple uses for weekly off numbers. You could trade them. So as the market rallied up to it, you could say, well, I'm bearish cable. This is where the market's going to turn good or bad for the week. I'm going to probe it at the off number and see what it does. So if you did that, and what you need to do every Friday or Saturday before the market's open is write down your weekly off numbers coming into next week. And you would have had 41.90 written down. And then when the market got up there, you could say, I'm going to play this off number and see how it works out. And I don't have a tough stop because, all I have to do is risk last week's highs. So there you go. the power of just being able to count back 2 candles gave you a great trade. So, I don't need a black box. I don't need to code uh, some type of signal generating algo. I could really use just simple yet powerful tools to guide me on entries and exits without having to go through all of that and become a high frequency trader of any of that. Call me old school, but these simple methods have a method to its madness. It's simple, it's Forrest Gump like, but they work. And, I don't have to have the most sophisticated system. And you could have, 50 screens in your office and look like NASA or Cape Canaveral, Cape Kennedy. I'm dating myself and still not make money, even though it looks like you're probably a master trader because you can see the whole world on your 50 screens and your spacecraft. So, especially new traders, keep it simple. Also, narrow your universe of the markets that you trade and become a master of one or a couple instead of a jack of all trades, to use an old, an old saying. You don't want to be jack of all trades, master of none. Be at least a master of one. Get to know every important technical area on that instrument, and then you're prepared to execute. So, taking a look at the yen, really is kind of disjointed from what's happening. Yen looks like it may want to make another run up here because here's your one, here's your two. This was not a divergence at a new high. So when I talk about divergences, if I have to put my cursor here to see at 77.30 to see if there was a divergence between these two highs, then it's not a good divergence because it should be glaring enough to know by your naked eye that you're diverging. Okay, not where I have to test it. And this was 80. So it is a little divergence, but not enough for me. I would need a new high up here and the RSI to stay under 70. Everyone understand that? So if you're looking for a divergence and you have to use your cursor to see if there was or there wasn't, it's not good enough. So another simple rule, it's got to be glaring. Similar to, let's just go back to the Bitcoin example at the highs. It's continuing to fall. But back at the highs on the daily, we had a confirmed high on drive one, pullback. We had a rally to new highs. And with the naked eye, you could see that the RSI did not get over this one without getting a reading. And your classic and, ideal is that on the third drive, your RSI is under the 70 reading, which shows momentum waning. So this is divergence, okay, where the difference between these two here on the 4 hour is a little more glaring at 70, but on the 2 hour, that's not divergence. Okay. So as I said yesterday, I'm looking for a pullback in Aussie. I thought that Aussie had the best rally Friday off the NFP. As you can see, we're not even 38% back yet. So, I'm considering maybe back down here around the 50 to 61.8 level for a buy. And when Aussie gets there, I'm going to take a shot in Euro Aussie. We're not quite there, but I have fibs here. So I'll be looking at maybe selling a piece up here and another one at 78.6 with stops over the high of the move. Everyone see that? Give me a Y if you're with me. And you can always ask a question. You could always post your charts here, looking for interaction. That's how you build a community, is with interaction and people sharing ideas. Share your ideas with me when I'm live, and you'll get your questions answered. I know some of you guys follow me elsewhere where my analysis is only for about 5 minutes. Here you would have 30 minutes to interact with all the questions that you may have in trading. I'll do my best to answer them. If I don't know, you'll hear me say, I don't know. Okay. You'll also hear me say, I was wrong. And people that have a hard time and choke on those words are people you probably want to run away from. So that's a look in Aussie. Now, the BOC, Bank of Canada, has their central bank is meeting today. And I just want to show you guys this formation and do a little more teaching. So this formation right here, this was a wedge line, okay, which we took out. And this is now all this action underneath the wedge line is what I call a throw over, only it's a throw under. It's underneath the wedge channel. So the trade here is once it's back inside the channel, that you could get a pop that would be a buy signal. So keep an eye on the BOC. They were pretty hawkish last time, and they're still in lockdown from COVID in Canada. So if the Bank of Canada comes in a little bit more dovish and you get some prints back over this line, which comes in at 21.21, not that far away, about 30 pips away, you could see a rally back to 23 previous lows. I'm not going to call this a major bottom, even if it does that, because, I don't think, even though Aussie's down, that the rally that we had from Friday's lows is over. Okay. Um, moving on, and here is a Dixie. Looks like it may want to pop here. You have this, maybe one more high with the N. Interesting action. We were so close to new highs in the S&Ps, and they're giving it up. Could not make a new high. Now it's hard for me to believe that we're going to get a major high without stops being elected. I know this kind of negative action here, but NASDAQ is still acting a little better. And if we do have a dollar rally, it should cause a pullback. So my call for 4,300 is predicated on the dollar breaking down under 89.20, trading towards 88.5. And I think that's going to be part of it. We're getting a pullback in gold after a pretty good day yesterday. Um, you know, that doesn't look so great to me. I'm flat. And in fact, silver still kind of neutral. So my bias is still for another high in gold, above this 1920 level. Not sure what that means. Anyway, so not sure what to do with the gold and silver, but my bias is that it's still not over. So let's see what happens here on this dollar pullback, where it takes the gold. Maybe around this 1870 level will be a good buy, and silver possibly down here at this 2730 has to hold. Otherwise, we're going to have a breakdown. But I'll be looking for this over the next couple days. Still think that there's another pop left in metals. The gold silver ratio is trying to break out again. Looked like it was going to pull back, but again, here we are at the 6850 level, and that's saying gold should outperform silver. I still think gold has another wave to the upside left, which probably means that the yen, even though it's popping today, might still have some more downside. They move counter trend to each other. Here's the VIX. Getting a nice little pop, nice little reversal day in the VIX. I was looking for new lows. Looks like we actually got new lows on this, and thought that we'd get back down under 1450. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong, and we're not going to 4,300. I don't know. I'm not short yet. I did not buy the SQQ back yet, and it's trying to reverse from under 78.6. We're almost at new lows, so we'll see. Decent little turnaround Tuesday, but still haven't done anything here yet. I still think we're going to see higher levels in the S&Ps. And we are getting some type of resolution in the 10-year right here. We're almost at a breakdown. It's trying to rally now. But as you can see, we're approaching that green line there. And under the 150 level, I think you're looking at 130, 120. And you would think that the dollar would weaken during that time frame and gold would strengthen and silver would have one more run. And they're really getting to the metals right now as well. So this is a real big test in the gold. We'll see what happens. I'm looking at oil, which is also acting a little heavy up here. I still think we need the 70 level in the oil, 70 to 71. But to me, look at this. We could be topping here. Could be, look at the divergence on the daily, um, divergence on the 4 hour. This looks like 1, 2, 3. So I'm just going to wait till the ECB is out of the way, and that's this Thursday. And keep an eye on this Euro Aussie with what's happening here in the currency complex. This is something that I posted, and we're getting close to these levels. We're at the 50% level, and I think that we put in a high here. So I'll be posting in the main room in main chat when I put this position on. I'm figuring between 61.8, 57.80, and 58.10 with stops over 58.50. Looking for maybe another wave back down, back to the downside here. Okay, not sure what that's the problem is there, but I'll have this taken care of. So watch this. I'm going to let you know if you're watching us here on YouTube. Come into the main chat room, register, and you'll see all the posts. Mike Venezia posts like a madman. He's an excellent trader, has great instincts, does a lot of work. So if you're a stock trader, you're missing out if you're not here in TradeGate Hub to catch Mike. Element's an excellent technician. He's on before me during the European session. And I have a great guest lined up for Thursday. Saeed Zaman is going to be with us out of the UK. Saeed has a huge following, is an excellent trader. He uses a lot of quarterly and annual pivots. So you're going to see a little different look from Saeed on Thursday. And remember, through all of this, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Keep an eye on what's happening here in the metals. I still think there could be one more rally above last week's highs in the gold and in the silver. So that's going to be a wrap for me for today. Good hunting, everybody. And I'll see everyone tomorrow. Adios.